We're here with JR and Jayla from ReRock in Toledo, Ohio. Guys, thanks for coming on the podcast today. I'm excited to have you.
We are excited to be here.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yes,
having us.
yes, of course. So, can you guys kind of talk about where this love for v- vintage things comes from?
So I would say that I think this is something that's been instilled into us when we were younger. We weren't really indebted into vintage, but just fashion as a whole. Like my dad had a clothing brand when we were younger. We were passing out free T-shirts. We're originally from Charlotte, North Carolina, and we were. I remember us going downtown, passing out free T-shirts to the homeless. Anything that involved community, we was around it in Charlotte at a very young age. I remember giving T-shirts to my teachers when I was in elementary school. So it's been something that has been around us since we were kids, tagging clothes, steaming clothes for his line in the living room since we were younger. So this is something that's always this kind of been in us. We were instilled into fashion and you know dressing a certain way and silhouettes and streetwear and whatever it may be. This is something that just kind of we were born with. So
Yeah, basically what he said, I feel like vintage is kind of new for us. But yeah, fashion has been like a part of our lifestyle for a very long time. So
What was it? Can you kind of talk about what was it like working for your dad, and what did that teach you about the fashion industry?
I think it's definitely taught me that because entrepreneurship is a big part of like this industry. So it definitely takes a lot of hard work and consistency. I feel like a lot of people might see like the fun parts of it, or they just see like, the things that make it look easy, but on the back end, a lot goes into it. So I feel like it's taught me that it takes a lot of hard work, dedication, and consistency. But if you do put in the work, like it's worth it. So I feel like that's what it's taught me overall.
yeah, for me, it kind of taught me the same thing of just being consistent, and also you got to get through the good, the bad, and the ugly
Yeah.
as well. Like you got to do the work, um, even when you don't want to. So it's about being resilient and having discipline to the point where you're doing it on a consistent basis. Like, and knowing on the back end too that a lot of it is just tedious, right? Steaming. Who wants to steam? You don't. You have a lot of people that don't
Yeah.
steam their clothes. Are like, but you have to take the time to do it because it's a physical or it's a eye seeing representation of how the consumer might see that piece. So I'm realizing that visualization is everything when it comes to it. And for me, it's like you can't skip a step in your process and your journey and your course. So you just have to, you just can't skip steps and you have to stay the course. That's what I realized. And you just got to appreciate the journey and understand that it just comes with the game, that it's going to be good, it's going to be bad, it's going to be ugly, but you just can't give up on yourself. So that's something I learned.
And did you guys take a lot of that little stuff that you learned from your father and now have implemented into this store as well? Like the steaming and like all the small stuff?
Yeah, I would say definitely. And also to piggyback off of what you said, also with us having a store, like it's not just the clothes, it's also about like customer service
Yeah.
and how you interact with people. So I learned that it's also like a people's industry as well. And that's a super important part of just our business. So I feel like it's so many different factors that play into it, but yeah, it's a lot of different factors. So yeah.
I would say for me, it definitely, my attitude, I guess, or mindset definitely comes from my father and my mom as well. Um, just seeing what he does on day in, day out, and how he's always positive and he's always resilient and he just has a dream and he's not going to stop until he gets there. I kind of think that's where a lot of us get our mindset from. And we, as entrepreneurs, you kind of be delusional.
Yeah.
You got to be delusional because nobody's going to believe more than you until it happens. Nobody's going to think that you can do it. So you kind of got to prove yourself right to them that you can do it. And I think I get a lot of that from my dad because he teaches us that nobody is going to tell you or nobody's going to don't think that your friends is going to support you or your family. It's not going to come from your family and friends. It's going to come from somebody who doesn't know you, right?
Yeah.
So you just got to understand what in entrepreneurship, that's what comes with the game of being an entrepreneur. And I get that mindset from him. And you kind of, like I said, have to be delusional, but not take no for an answer. You got to take everything that you want in life and understand that nobody is going to be there to pick you up when you fall. You got to be there for yourself. So that's what I took from it.
And that's very interesting. Delusional and being optimistic. Delusional optimism. And when you're going about doing that, especially in the beginning of the business when you don't have a lot of supporters or you have random people supporting you, how do you find that line between optimistic but still being realistic when it comes to like, okay, this isn't working, I'm going to pivot, but I'm still going to be strong on this vision that I have?
I feel like faith, that's where faith really comes in, where like it may look like things are not working or it may look like things are stagnant, but you just have to trust, like you said, the vision that you have and that is placed within you and just keep going, keep persisting, even in the midst of like everything. Because sometimes stuff is going to look like nothing is going right. You're going to be faced with adversity and different trials, but you just can't give up because literally you could be one step closer to getting there, but if you stop, then you're never going to get there. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with Jayla said on that one as well. For me, I think that it's good to set delusional goals, right? Because it's kind of like you chasing perfectionism and you know you're never going to get there, but it pushes you and it strives you to be the best that you can, through whatever that you're going through. And you know that you're never going to achieve the goal, but now you know, like, all right, what can I get better at? And you can measure that day by day or month by month. You know what I mean? And you know, like, all right, I didn't achieve it, but what can be done better, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if that
No,
answers your
no, for
question
sure.
directly, but that's kind of how I measure it. And the example by that is, we bring in some items and it may not sell as well, or it may be a miss. And, sometimes it may be you asking customers, like, what do you guys want? But also being mindful that customers are always going to say what they want and then don't end up buying it, but they
Yeah.
just want to see it in person, right? But you just kind of got to go off of consumer behavior. And I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to have some misses, but it's just better to have more makes than misses, I guess, if that answers your
Yeah,
question. I
no,
don't
for
know if it
sure.
does or not,
You
but
have this
I'm trying to.
you have this goal of achieving something that you know isn't possible, but you're still going to be fulfilled on the journey and know that I'm going to do the actions to make it happen no matter what.
Correct. You it's like you have the dream, but what's going to fuel that dream is the action behind it.
Yeah.
And as long as you set clear goals, and it may look far away, it may be far, but then when you start, you might not make it each month, but I'm getting a little bit closer. I'm getting a little bit closer. Okay, what can I do to improve it to get me a little bit more closer to my goal? So that's kind of like how I like to play mind games with myself.
Yeah.
Like I'll set delusional goals. Okay, I might not get there this month, but I can get one step closer. And as long as I'm able to compound that day after day or month by month and be consistent with that, then I'm happy because I know that as long as I make a certain tweak, then I'm going to get there. Or it's like, when you fall down or when you hit yourself, when you trip over a rock, you're going to make sure next time when you get up, you're going to watch out for that rock. So it's kind of like the same mindset in a way of chasing your goals and being more cautious, seeing, okay, what's working? Okay, now I'm not going to make the same mistake that I did before. So it's kind of like one of those mind games I
Yeah.
play on myself. So.
And how do you guys go about sourcing and finding such unique items?
So for the streetwear stuff, we take trips. So specifically for streetwear, we have events that we go to, like the fashion show, Fashion Nova, not Fashion Nova, forgetting the name,
Are you talking about
in Vegas. But it's certain trade shows that we go to
Yeah.
in Vegas, and they happen year round. And we typically make the Vegas ones because they're the biggest one. Fashion Roma, I think. Is that what it's called?
I'm
I
not
don't
sure
know.
exactly.
But we go there, we see what's the trends out there. and they host two a year. So they host one in August and they host one in, I want to say, February. I was just there in February. They host one in August and February, and it typically just, we go there to see what the trend is, what people are buying, and you kind of stay ahead and you bring stuff in that way. But for the vintage stuff, we have resellers here in ReRock, and not resellers, but our vendors. And our
Yeah.
vendors are people that work for us, obviously, and they kind of manage the vintage stuff because that's what they do on their end. So they go thrift, they go to pop ups, they go to different places. We might buy in bulk from a certain vendor who sells in bulk for vintage wear as well. So it just all depends. But for the most part, it may take us going to um, little thrift areas or vintage pop-ups, and it's just about taking a step to make your store the best store. Our biggest thing is giving somebody that experience. If you're going to spend your hard-earned money with us, we want to make sure that it's going to be the best possible experience that it can be for you, and give the opportunity to someone who's, haven't experienced this type of store before. So we want to give them a overall great experience, and we do that by trying to bring in the best product and be consistent with that. So, yeah, I think that's how we do it.
And then, so he mentioned that our women's stuff is pretty newer. We
Yes.
just added that section into the store. So for that, just like wholesalers online, so that area is still pretty new for us, but that's how we have been sourcing the women's stuff. So
And what is your guys' favorite thing about the business?
that's a great question. I would say my favorite part about the store and the business is really just connecting with people, like connecting with all different types of people that you really wouldn't meet just on a regular
Yeah.
basis. So I would say that's my favorite part. And then also just like building something with my family. I think that's like super important. That's something that people need to see. Like they need to see families just sticking together and working together. And I think that's a beautiful thing. So.
For me, I'll say my favorite thing about the business is like the journey, the process, like enjoying it because it's not gonna be forever, you know what I mean? Like, and not forever in terms of the business isn't gonna be here, but where you're at,
Yeah.
the moment that you're at, like us starting this in August, we're coming up on 1 year soon. And it's been a grind. We've been grinding behind scenes, from sourcing to taking trips, just everything. And like Jayla said, just working together as a family as well. That's been one of like the best things ever, to be able to work with your family and to be able to bounce ideas off of one another and understand that like we all have to hold each other accountable. It may be days when you're beefing with your siblings
Yeah.
or your parents or whatever, but I think that's the beauty of it in business, is that you're able, a lot of people say you're not supposed to do business with your family or friends, but you can, as long as you're willing to hold each other accountable. And we all understand what the overall goal is, and the overall goal is to be here for years and years and years and have one of the best retail stores in the world. So that's the goal for us.
I love it.
Yeah.
And why is collaboration so important for you guys?
I would say collaboration is important to us because we have the opportunity to connect with somebody and to fuel someone else's dream. And it's kind of like they have that dream, but they have the match, but we're starting it for them. You know what I mean? And it's like now once the match has started, they're able to build that fire, right? And I think that's the most important part of community to us, is just being able to connect with people, because at the end of the day, as followers of Christ, we're here to serve, and want to continue to empower others, love people. And I think more of that needs to be shared in the world, is just loving others and being kind to people and just being at a service for other people. You know what I mean? And I think that's, at the end of the day, that's what we're all here to do, is to serve and to help people. And nothing is more rewarding than seeing somebody get to where they're trying to go, and then you realize that you were somewhat a part of that dream, that goal. So that's why community is important to us.
Feel like that was very well said.
Yes.
I really don't have anything else to add to that other than also like there are power in numbers, and I feel like we've witnessed it with the store. Like I remember when we first opened, 2 days before the store opened, we had like nothing in here. Like it was empty. And our partners from Charlotte, they flew down and just helped us get everything together. And that was the first time that I really seen like there's power in numbers and in community and working together. And I feel like everyone knows the saying, teamwork makes the dream work,
Yeah.
and it's true. So, yeah, that's just a big part of I feel like that should be a big part of any business. And I
Yeah.
think that's definitely linked to the success of businesses. It's just like being in community and helping, like you said, serving.
It's beautiful because I think we need more people and more businesses in general open to collaborate with each other versus looking at everyone as competition.
Yeah.
Versus like, hey, we might be in the same industry, but we can still work together. We can still pass clients back and forth. We can help you. So I think that's needed more and more for sure. Um,
Absolutely.
I have two more questions from both of you guys. What is one advice that you would give to the youth about running a business or just life in general?
Ooh. Okay, you can go first while I like ponder on this question.
Honestly, I'm glad you asked that because I've been thinking about this for a while now. But for me, one piece of advice I would give someone who's obviously my age or younger is to be patient and to stay consistent. Um, I feel like there's a lot of distractions in the world right now. And the reason why I say consistency is because, piggyback on what I said a few moments ago, with the aspiration, the dream, to fuel that dream, what gives that dream is the action that you put in behind it. So without the work, your dreams is just it's a dream, it's an illusion. It's never going to get there, right? So you have to be willing to put in the work, and that's where consistency falls into place. When you got to do it time after time after time through the good, the bad, and the ugly. And with social, the way that social media is going on right now, you just got to stay your course. You can't
Yeah.
worry about what other people are doing, and you are so caught up in other people's lives. You kind of just got to stay grounded, know who you are, and stay your course, and just show up each and every day with a purpose to be better. You know, to be better overall, not just from a business standpoint, but from a human standpoint, and then relying that to patience. A lot of people think that it's a fast grind based off of what you see on TikTok. You see a lot of people, flexing or showboating or whatever. They just show whatever that they want to show.
Yeah.
And it's easily manipulated, right? And it may think that somebody's living this certain life, but in all actuality, it's really not like that. It's really a 5 to 10 year grind to build real wealth.
Yep.
It compounds over time. So that's why I say patience is important because you're never going to get there in a time span of 1 to 2 years. It's like you said, you started your business 6 years ago, you know, and that builds over time. So I just think as a younger generation, we have to understand that it's going to require patience and we just have to keep showing up every single day. Understand that it's not quick
Yeah.
to get to wealth or wherever you want in life, not just wealth. It's a journey. So just make it the best journey that you
Absolutely.
possibly can.
Advice that I would give to the youth is you have to believe. This store is possible because we believe that it could be. So I would say believe. Like there are literally no limits in this life other than the ones that you put on yourself. So if you believe that anything is possible, then anything is possible. But if you believe otherwise, then it's going to reflect in your actions.
Yes.
And, so yeah, I would say just believe. And people that struggle with that, I would say it starts with just what you tell yourself. Like for me, I had to speak that to myself and just hearing it, faith comes by hearing. So for me, hearing it and repeating it to myself just on a daily basis, it started to just become more true. So I would say believe and oh, he's walking in. Yeah, belief. Belief is so important. So
Love
Yeah,
it.
I also have to add to that. Sorry.
No, no,
Also, another
you're
little
good.
add on to that is don't let other people's limitations stop you because that's the limitations that they have on themselves. They don't see them being able to do it, and they'll throw their limitations, what they have on themselves, onto you. And it's like, no, don't let them put their limitations on you. That's their
Yes.
limitations for themselves. So be very mindful on who you're getting advice from. Be very mindful on who you're getting advice from, because the people who've never been in your shoes or who've never started a business, they're the ones who often try to tell you to not do it, or it's out of the extreme, or you will never get there. When you will, all you have to do is just take that leap of faith
Yes.
and just start something that you believe in. So that's what I think.
Also want to piggyback a little. So, also to bounce off of that, I just want to say identity is a big part too. Like knowing who you are is so important because if you don't know who you are, then you allow other people to tell you who you are. So, I would say focus on you, like focus on yourself, learn about you, learn about what you like, learn about who you are. And yeah, I feel like that's how you build confidence, and nobody will be able to take that away from you. So, identity and belief.
Nothing but gems. That was great. I have one more question for you guys. What is one aspect of yourself that you love?
That's a good
Thank
question.
you.
That's a great question.
Mm, okay. I have to think on this. So let's see.
Pass it to him.
Yeah.
Resilience and confidence in myself. I'll say for me, like I said, I'm just going to take the extra step. Whether it's me for business wise, if I can't reach out to somebody, I'm going to go as far as emailing somebody. Like, people don't understand how far, like, how important it is to take the extra step. They may not think it might not work, but it does. Like, oh, this brand will never reach out. This brand will never respond to me. And the amount of brands that always respond to me because I take the extra step of sending out a well formatted email or trying to call somebody even if they don't pick up. So I'll just say, like, having resilience for me, and just like, no, I'm not going to take no for an answer. I'm gonna keep emailing you. I'm gonna email you
Yes.
again and again and again until you like, all right, I'm tired of this guy. Like, what do you want? Like, I'm not going to give up. And I believe in myself. Like, I speak everything that I say into existence, but also put the action behind it. So that's where the belief and that's where the confidence from me comes from. It's like you preparing for a basketball game or a football game or whatever sport that you're playing. You get that confidence, or you get that belief in yourself because you put in the work. You know how many hours that you put in behind closed doors that nobody sees. So why shouldn't you believe in yourself? You put all that work in for no reason. You're not going to believe in you. No, you have to believe in you. So that's where I think my confidence and resilience come from. It's because I do it time and time and time and time again each day. And yeah.
Love that. I would say you said one thing we love about ourselves.
Yes.
I would say for me, like my kindness, because I feel like in the world, it's just a lot of hate, it's a lot of negativity, it's a lot of, it's just a lot of that. And it doesn't pay or it doesn't cost anything to be kind. And I feel like everyone needs that. Everyone needs to feel seen and heard. And, I just love being kind to people. So I would say like my heart in that aspect.
We could talk about these topics forever because
Yeah.
I am very aligned with all of that. But we'll save that for another time. Those are the questions I have for you. How can people find you guys, and what is one thing you want to leave people with?
Leave people with?
Yeah,
You guys can find us on Instagram and Facebook at ReRock Store, as well as TikTok. Um, and one thing I would want to leave you guys with is stay true to who you are. Stay true to who you are. You don't have to do what you see everyone else doing. Just stay true to you and be unique. There's power in who you are, who God created you to be. Like everyone was made one of one. Like everyone's their individual person, everyone's unique. So whoever you are, I would say showcase that to the world. There's a verse that like I've just been meditating on, and it's let your light so shine before the world, like a lamp on a hilltop that cannot be hidden. And I love that verse because I feel like a lot of the times we try to shrink ourselves or just play small, but that's literally disobedience because God calls us to shine our light. So that's something that I'm learning, and that's something that I want to leave you guys with.
You can find us at ReRock Store on Instagram, Facebook. Um, yeah. We'll be having a bunch of events and stuff like
Yes.
that. So that's where you guys will be able to find us. We have an event coming up May 29th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at House of Coffee. It's going to be a great event. Um, and we have Easton who will be there
Yes.
speaking for
Honored.
us,
Thank you.
and a couple other speakers, and it's going to be a great time, and we look forward to that. But one thing that I want to leave you guys with is to just love more and be kind and just be out of service for others. It doesn't take anything to be kind in the world. Um, and yeah, just love more. That's it. God put us on this earth to love, to be kind, and to empower each other and to be out of service for one another. And people will be surprised at how you're able to build your dreams through other people and with other people. So that's it.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank
I
you so much.
appreciate
I
it.
appreciate it.
It was a
Thank
pleasure.
you so much.